everybody, welcome to my October 2024 update. I don't remember if I did a September update or not, quite honestly, but I do have quite a bit to show. I have several Christmas projects planned. I have three FFOs, a finish, a couple of whips, or a whip, another whip, plus all of my plans, and I have video plans for November and December I want to kind of start talking about. I have project plans, I have reading plans, I have all the things. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoy this video. I'm going to have some cool links down in the description box. I'm going to put project notes, I believe, and also links to my TikToks. And okay, let's get going. FFO number 1. I've shown this before, shortly after I finished it, but it was not framed. So it was framed. I did enter it into the fair. It got 3rd place. And this is gonna go in here somewhere for Easter time. I don't know where, but that is all finished and squared away, and I'm really happy with the way this frame looks. So that's FFO number 1. FFO number 2 is also a start since the last time we visited. You have not seen this project started or finished. I think probably the only thing you've seen it as is like the kit when I got it. But it is a plastic canvas kit, and it came from Hirschner's, and it is a haunted house. There's the sides. This is a little crooked. I miscounted something somewhere, cut it kind of wonky. Here's the back. The other side, this side kind of looks rough, but that's okay. You can't really see unless you stare really close at it, and I'm happy with it. The tree is real flimsy. I think I'm gonna have to put some cardboard or something underneath this just to stabilize it. But this is really, really cute. I was very ready to be done with this by the time I actually got finished. It was a pain in the tail at the end. The assembly wasn't absolutely horrendous. What was frustrating was I thought I was done stitching everything, and then in the finishing instructions you have to overcast the edges of all of your small pieces, and I didn't want to do that, so I didn't. Wilbert. It was frustrating because I thought I was done stitching. Like, I thought all I was doing was cutting out and gluing, and that is not the case. So, and if you're interested in seeing any like video clips of the progress of this, I have 2 TikTok accounts. One of them is just crafting, so you can find little clips of that process there. It really didn't take me that long to do, if we're being honest. If I don't know, several days, a couple of weeks probably, but it wasn't too bad. It's just a little bit flimsy underneath, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. But besides that, I'm very, very happy with it. The next FFO is my Cozy Cafe. So this you've seen finished before, but you have not seen it FFO'd. I entered this into the fair as well, and it got 1st place. I only entered 2 things this year, which is not normal for me. Normally I enter a lot of stuff, but that didn't happen. So here it is. I had this frame and just kind of sitting around. It was gold, and I said, no, we're not going to do gold. So I spray painted it white. This does not have glass in it right now. I probably will put some glass in it because I am so afraid of this getting all messed up, and we'll just see. I don't know. But this is the FFO. So I had 3 FFOs in the month of October. I did work on my diamond painting, my Christmas. Oh, this is not even finished. Hang on. We'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, so those are my 3 FFOs. I do have one more finish, and this is also a new start. I might have talked about this in my last update, but the Black Needle Society had a Christmas pattern last year called Santa's Stamp Collection, and it was part of their like Advent box, and I didn't get it, but it is available now, and I probably will buy it. But they came out with a Jack's stamp collection, and so I decided I would stitch that for October, and the goal was I would start it and do 1 stamp a day because there's 31 stamps. No, I finished this day before yesterday. So here is, hang on, Jack's stamp collection. I cannot remember the name of the fabric. Oh, it's called Rosalind from Under the Sea Fabrics. It's a 32 count linen. And this is what Jack's stamp collection looks like. All finished. There's no hand-dyed threads or anything in this. No beads. It's just pretty straightforward DMC. But I started and finished this in October. Do not ask me how I managed to get it all done. I do not know, but I did. There's not a ton of colors in it, which probably helped. So let me show you my favorite blocks in here. The candy corn block. Let me move you guys closer. The candy corn block is a favorite, number 3 right here. I love that one. I love the, where'd it go? The little ghost block down here, right here. And I think those are my top 2 favorites. There's a lot of really cute blocks in here, but those are my 2 favorites for sure. And I had signed up to do a different free countdown to Halloween stitch along. Why can't I remember the designer? I cannot remember the designer right now. Stitchonomy. I think that's it. Stitchology. One of the 2. Anyway, it was free, and she's doing a free Christmas one too, and I did sign up to participate in that. But the very first clue was a clue that I was not comfortable with. It was like witches' bells or something, and while I'm fine with these witches, I'm not fine with actual like realistic symbolism in my house. I don't want that at all. So I'm fine with the cutesy stuff, but the real stuff I'm not a fan of, and that was clue number 1, so I didn't do it. I said no, and then when I saw this, I looked at the model stitch cover photo of it, and I said I really like that. There's nothing creepy about it. There's a happy witch, like a happy one, not a creepy one, and then there's a cauldron, and I think that's really as bad as it gets. So I was totally happy to do this, and I'm happy with my fabric choice. So this, I'm not really sure how I want to finish it, but I've got to come up with something cute, preferably not, I don't know, I could probably frame it, I'm not sure, but anyway, that's a finish. Now we're gonna talk about whips. I've sort of kind of started to get into this, but y'all haven't seen this in a really long time. I'm a mood stitcher, so stitching Christmas stuff and working on Christmas projects when it's not that time of the year is a little bit hard for me. So I have worked on this project, and you're not gonna be able to see everything that I did, but I did. Can you see over here? Like I worked on the bottom of this. I think the sled is new. Anyway, that is where that currently sits. So I am hoping to work on this a little bit I don't know if I will get to it in November, and I'll explain why whenever we, talk about things coming up and plans, but that is where this stands right now. It is going to get worked on this Christmas season. I'm just not sure, exactly when. So we'll see. And then, hang on. Let us see. Okay. So that is one of the whips that I'll be working on. And then I have some other Christmas whips that I'm planning on pulling out for the next little bit. I forgot to show something. So there was one other project I worked on in October, and I barely did anything on it. I don't think I have a before of this, but this is Widow Black's B&B from Praiseworthy Stitches, and I pulled it out and I worked on it at the very beginning, like the first few days of October, and I worked on the tree, and I added in basically the trunk, like the very bottom part of the tree there, down here. I added that in, and that's all. And I also gave this ghost eyeballs. So that's it. That was a whip I totally forgot to show for a second, because really you can't tell I did anything. I was kind of bummed about that. October, I know I've talked about it before. October is one of our busiest work months. October and then March, sometimes into April. There are busiest times, and this last quarter at work is ridiculously busy, just as a whole. But I work in schools in October. I do the employee benefits for a school board here, and so I'm very, very busy every day of the week from about 6:30 in the morning until after 5 in the evening, and normally I'm just beat. I don't want to do anything else. So I didn't work on that as much as I would have liked to, but I still put some stitches in it, so that's good. And I need to learn to not only stitch seasonal pieces in the season. Anyway, so then you saw the diamond painting whip. These next projects I'm going to be showing you, they're not going to count new starts, and there are a couple of things that, who knows, I might pull out to work on if the mood strikes, but these are Christmas pieces. So the first one, and I've already put a few stitches in this yesterday, is called Spirit of Evergreen by Brooks Books. And this is what she's going to look like. I have stitched one other one of these. It's Spirit of Mistletoe. And oh, that's not it. Hang on. This is what she got cut out of, but that's not her. Hang on. I'm trying to find where okay, so I don't have a before picture, but this is where she is right now on the perforated paper. They also give you a fabric pattern, which is a little bit different than the perforated paper. There's some things you don't stitch whenever you do the perforated paper, and you also stitch things separately to cut out and glue. But this is where she sits right now. Yesterday, I filled in the middle part of her dress. It was kind of empty. And then this darker color in her hair I added. And then I also added, there's some brown stitches in here. I added those yesterday. So this is the only Christmas project I've actually touched so far this month in November. But this is going to be coming out, and I'm going to be working on this a good bit in November, December. And let me pull out the next one. So that is Spirit of Evergreen. Then I also have some, let me pull out these other whips. So I have this project. Some of you guys may remember this. I started this last year in November, and this is where it is currently. And I do want to work on this. This is going to be for our bedroom. Our bedroom tree is all blues and whites. So, and you know, it's this type of I don't know how you say the name, but that China pattern. We have a lot of that stuff going on. So this is where this is right now. And I do want to work on that. And then I also have, kind of in the same like theme, there are these ornaments. Those are by, Joan Elliott. That's by Joan Elliott. It's called Christmas in Blue. And then this, I have one finish off of this, but I'm making little ornaments. This is another pattern by Joan Elliott, and it kind of goes in the series. It's kind of the same thing, but they're called Christmas Blue ornaments. And this is what they look like. And I have finished this little snowman. They have beads and metallics. I stitched this last November as well, and I'm really, really happy with what that looks like. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna do next. I believe it's one of the birds that I had pulled out to stitch, but I'm a big fan. So we have those on the docket. So I have 8 left of those to stitch, and I would love to stitch them all this year, but you know, who knows? I don't really have set goals. So we have that. And then, hang on. Now this one, it's been a while since I've looked at it. This is a stocking. It's called Candy Cane Santa, right here. So I stitched my husband a stocking, and I have it on the mantle. It was that Santa's Midnight Flight or whatever. It's one of the more popular stockings. And I had this idea. I want to stitch one for myself, and then I wanted to go ahead and start one because we do plan on having a family. We're going to be going to visit some doctors and things this next May, into May, maybe before, who knows, to kind of get a ball rolling there. But I started this stocking, and this stocking will be for our first baby. And I'm just praying that we are blessed with that. But this is where the start is. This is Santa's beard. And that is what I got started on this last year. It might have been this year. I don't remember when I started this, but this is where it stands. Okay, so that is in the cards. I would very much like to work on that. Candy Cane Santa. Let's hope I can get this. The other stocking, the one that I was going to do for myself, it's the Nativity Santa. No. I'm not available by cell phone today. I'm exhausted, truly. Okay. Next is another kit. This is, and I've got to see if I can find a model stitch photo, because this is, yeah, there's one. Hang on. So this is a kit by Luca S. And this is what the kit will look like. I started this last year in November. And this is for the craft room for very obvious reasons. If you guys have been here for any length of time, you guys know I love pink. So this is pink and white Santa and a beautiful Christmas scene. So this is what that will look like when it's done. And this, I got 1 page done last year. I do remember that. So this is what that looks like. I'm doing everything as I go. It's got some little metallics. It's back stitched. I've decided I was gonna back stitch as I went. So this is that page. So it's a deer and a little tree and a Christmas ball and a bowl of little ornaments. And there's Santa's hat. And it is all kinds of sparkly from that metallic. That metallic is not fun to work with, but I'm doing it because it'll be worth it. But that is where that is. That is the whole first page of that. And I do plan on working on that this year a bit. who knows how much, but a bit. And then the last thing that I want to work on, I've done a few different sets of these, but these ornaments, I have done 2 or 3 of the sets. Each pattern is a set of 3, and there were 12 of them. So I've done at least 2 sets of them. But I want to work on some more of these, and I'm hoping to attach them to my gifts for people this year. They'll have to give them back. They're not part of the gifts. But this is what those look like. And I hope to get some of those done. Those are very, very quick to stitch, so I'm not too worried about getting those done. And then I do have one new start plan, and that is Shannon Christine's 2023 Nutcracker. This is also going to be in here. My mom stitched and finished this, and she did hers as like a stand-up, and I think I want to do the same thing. This is the fabric that I've chosen for it. It's called Marzipan from Coloring Cotton, and the color fabric is gonna look good with everything here. But let me explain to you why I picked it. So I picked this fabric because there's a movie called Barbie and the Nutcracker, and there's a pink horse in that movie, and her name is Marzipan. And so for some reason, I just my brain threw it together. I saw the name and I saw that it would match the colors. And then this is a Nutcracker and he's pink, so I thought Marzipan, the pink horse. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing, and those are my project plans for November, December. Anyway, they're for November, December project plans. I may start something else. We will see. I don't know what I'll pull out. I might work on the nativity stocking too. This is plenty, I feel like, of Christmas projects. We'll just see. I have been having the urge to work on something full coverage, like a Heaven and Earth design full coverage, not the kit full coverage. So I might pull out like that epic Pokemon piece or the Disney piece that I started forever ago. I might pull those out because I really am itching to do it. I don't know, but anyway, those are plans. Those are finishes, whips, and plans. And now we're gonna get into a little bit of the personal stuff for the rest of the year, and then I'm gonna talk to you guys about books. So November is an extremely busy month. It is the 6th today, and I am going to Mississippi with my mom for it's called the Mistletoe Market, and we leave tomorrow and we come back on Sunday. I am taking my Evergreen Angel with me to work on, and I'm gonna bring a book to read. It's gonna be busy enough. I'm not gonna probably get a whole lot done, but I am taking it, and I'm gonna film little clips. More on that in a minute. I also am gonna be going to Branson, Missouri, and I leave on that trip next Saturday, maybe Friday, we'll see. But yeah, so what we typically do is we stay a week. This year we're staying 10 days. So I'm taking a bunch of my Christmas projects with me on that trip, as well as books. It's going to be fun, but I'm going to film clips of all of the stuff we do there as well. And I wanted to tell you guys kind of what my plan is for November and sort of December. I'm planning on doing Vlogmas for December. I have several advent calendars. One of them is on the way. Cody and I have one to do together, and then he has one to open. We have another, like a tea advent, and I'm hoping to be able to swing this really cool drinking chocolate, not hot chocolate, drinking chocolate advent calendar. We'll just have to see what finances look like at the end of the month, but I'm going to be doing Vlogmas, so to kind of get in the habit of doing some vlogs, and I don't know if, I'm pretty sure my Vlogmas is going to be a daily vlog, But to get in the habit of just kind of filming those clips, I want to work November like that as well. So starting today, I'm hoping to film, you know, just little clips here and there of all of the crafty things I do. I have to decorate my craft room for Christmas, so I want to video that. I want to video all kinds of things. So, yes. But that's kind of what video plans are going to be. And I will do one big November update as well. Willie. I'm going to do one big November update as well. But I want to have the vlogs just to kind of get in the habit. Just like I'll do for December. I'll have a big December update. But I want to get in the habit of vlogging and filming some things. I'm going to talk about books in a minute, but also I wanted to tell y'all I do have a TikTok account where I show all of my crafty things, coloring, the needlework, all the stuff. And then I have another TikTok account where it's just like everyday stuff, cleaning, my house decor, like all that. So I have two, and I will link them down below with my usernames. But let's talk about books now. So I've read quite a lot in the last little bit, but I'm only going to highlight a couple things. So I'm starting to do like a little junk journal of the books that I read, and this is my cover. So the first book that I read in October was called My Roommate is a Vampire. And it's about this girl. She's a grown-ass woman, and and she lives in, I think, Chicago. I don't know if I'm assuming that or if they actually said it, but she's an artist and she's struggling and she's being evicted from her apartment, and she answers a Craigslist ad from a guy, and the apartment was super cheap, and she's like really suspicious of that, but she goes and she looks and it's fantastic. The guy's a little weird, you know, but anyway, so she moves in and things kind of develop from there. Obviously, based on the title, you know that he is a vampire. But this is a spicy adult novel. It's funny. I laughed out loud, and I read this in a day. It's a beautiful book. I gave it 5 stars. And that's the first book. I did buy the sequel. I didn't get to read it in October, but I really wanted to. But that's beside the point. It was fantastic. The next book that I read was Vampire Academy, and that was by Rochelle Mead. And this is a book series that came out when I was in high school, and I just never read it, and I own them, and I've owned them for a really long time. So I decided to read that. I gave it 4 stars. It was a little bit, it was for sure YA, you know what I mean? Like for sure YA, but it was good. Of course, it's romance-ish, but also that supernatural fantasy side of things. I don't really want to tell you guys what it's about. There is a 1-season TV show on Peacock about it. There's a movie floating around out there. The movie is not the best, but it's fine. And then now that I've read the whole book, which I actually think I've read before, I think this is my second time reading it. After I read it, I was like, I'm pretty sure I've read this. But anyway, so it's beside the point. It was good, 4 stars. And then the next book, I read Red Queen. I didn't do a whole lot for a spread on this because this is kind of hard. I didn't have, first off, the stickers that I really felt like I needed to do it, but I read it in about 2 weeks. I'm going to continue the series, and actually the second one is in my reading plans for this month, and I hope to finish that. But it's royalty. There are magical abilities. There's romance here. There's betrayal. And you know, you're looking at like court, royal court, and politics, and it's very good. I liked it more than I liked Vampire Academy, but I am still gonna finish both series. But it was very good. And then I also read a book called The Nature of Witches, and I cannot remember what the author is, and I haven't done my journal spread for it yet, but it is about a girl who has she thinks she's like basically useless with what she does. She's an ever witch, which means she has control over all 4 seasons of magic, and she she has control, but she doesn't have control. She has the ability, but she doesn't know what to do with it. So it's kind of about her and her journey with her powers, and she falls in love, but every time a new season comes around, her personality kind of changes. So in one season, she's like all romantic and all over this guy, and then all of a sudden she feels like she doesn't love him anymore. But actually, the guy she meets, it works out where that's not the case, and it's her learning to use her powers and overcome some things, and it's very good. I really enjoyed it. I also listened to some audiobooks. One was called Murder at an English Seance, and it is about these two older women who are in England, and one is American and one's actually English, but they're best friends, and they met each other in finishing school. And this is like the 5th or 6th one in the series. I really enjoy them. Very good. I read that one, of course, for Halloween. There were some other audiobooks that I read, but I don't remember off the top of my head what they were, and I have not journaled them. They were pretty much all cozy mysteries, if that tells you anything. But that I've had a pretty good reading month. I've read more than that, but those are the books that really have stood out to me. For this next month, I already showed you Glass Sword. This is the second out of a 4-book series. I don't have the 4th one, I realized. Did not know I didn't until today, actually, but this is the second one. It is, I can't really tell you anything about it without spoiling it. And then I also want to read Butchering Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. And there are some other books that I want to read, some fantasy novels. I think I do want to go ahead and kind of jump back into like some supernatural romance, this fantasy romance type stuff this month. I'm not sure what else, but I know that these are on the docket, and possibly I might look at doing a reread of the City of Bone, the Mortal Instrument series. I have not read all of those, and I was obsessed with the first several, so I think I might look at rereading those. But right now, these two are the for sures. I'm gonna start Glass Sword first because it seems like it takes me a little longer to get through those, and I really just want to finish some series that have been on my bookshelves for a really long time. Because seriously, these books have been on my bookshelves. The 4th book came out in 2018, and again, I don't have that book, but anyway, it's time to kind of clear out and make some room on my shelves, or organize my shelves a little better than they are. And I need to move on from that series, I feel like. But anyway, okay, so that's kind of all of the plans that I have. This was a quicker video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you're as excited as I am about the plans coming up. I am going to be filming my decoration process, that my trees are not totally decorated in the living room, so I'm going to film that too. It's going to be fun, I hope, and I hope I remember to film and stay on top of things, but if not, oh well. But we're going to try it, and I hope you join me for that ride, and I will get this up hopefully this afternoon, and I will see you guys soon.